Lazy exercises. Minimum amount of protein per day, right? Now notice this information changed a little bit from when I clicked it. Try it again. Okay. But still roughly the same. But if you pay close attention, you will see that for the average woman, it's 45 grams a day, minimum. Notice that I'm asking for the minimum. And then for guys, it's 55 grams for men, minimum. Then, of course, it goes into the whole 1 gram of protein per, body weight per day. But of course, notice it comes from the College of Sports and Medicine, right? So that obviously is referring to if you're physically active, if you're lifting weights, especially if you're active every day, yeah, more protein is better for those who are physically doing more physical activity. But the average person isn't going to the gym every day. The average person ain't lifting heavy every day. The average person is scrolling to TikTok or on a computer. So I'm championing for essentially the average person, right? The lazy exerciser, the person who wants to be on a fitness journey, but they don't have a lot of time. Definitely not to spend hours at the gym doing multiple sets, multiple days. So, what is the minimum amount of protein they would need to still get results, still get stronger and bigger, and reach their fitness goals? What is the minimum? The problem is that online you get a lot of people just keep repeating the whole 1 gram per body weight thing because they heard it so many times, so they follow it, and you know how it is. Instead of doing their own research, instead of testing and trying out, because one of the reasons I'm making this video is the fact that I deal with a lot of people in comment section a lot complaining about they can't hit their protein goal. They can't hit their protein goal. They're having trouble eating enough food to hit their protein goal. And they'd be like, oh yeah, my protein goal is like 150, but the best I can do is like 100 or maybe 120. So hard to get that extra 30. And it's like, I mean, if you can get 100 grams of protein a day for a week, which is 700 grams of protein, that's a lot of protein in a week. And if you're only working out 2-3 times a week, 2 or 3 times a week, 700 grams of protein is more than enough for your body to use to repair, your muscles. And that's if muscle damage, equals muscle growth, right? So that's why it's like, the idea that a lot of people are obsessed with the specific number that's given to them. And as you can see, no one even goes to Google, what's the minimum amount? They just go with the 1 gram per body weight and think that because they hear 1 gram, right, the number 1, they think that's the lowest. No, that's the lowest you're multiplying based off of your weight, which gives you a big number, right? I'm 300, so therefore 300 grams a day of protein. It's like, well, that's a lot of protein to try to consume every day, consistent, right? So how many protein shakes and protein bars is that going to be, right? When you add it up. But then it's like, but how much of that is being used? Is it 150 grams being used for my muscles and the other 150 grams being used for other bodily functions? Like, where's the math for that? What's the science behind that? What is your body doing with all that protein? I doubt 300 grams of protein is being all used for muscle development, muscle building. So, so you have to think logic. All right, let me go Google and see what's the minimum amount of protein you need to consume a day. Now, this will just point out the minimum amount of grams of protein a day. Again, if you're not working out, and this is just for average people, it's just like you're just living your life and you are going to do physical activity at some point. You have a job, right? So you might do some physical labor at your job. So a minimum of 50 grams of protein, which is why I've been saying, here it says 55. Okay, I'm off by 5 grams. Whoop-de-doo, right? But you see, my point is that I didn't just come up with the 50 grams out of nowhere, right? I tried it. I was trying out numbers. And 50 just sounds nice, yes, but at the same time, it worked once I started doing 50 grams of protein a day. I started getting the results that I want, which is less muscle soreness, faster recovery, right? To the point where, yeah, I could work out twice a week, but I still don't. But I have the option, and that's always good to have options. So same with this. It's good to have the option where you don't have to hit 150 grams of protein or 200 or 300. You can eat half. Half is enough. Because you're more likely not even going to use all 300 grams of protein. So why even waste time eating 300 grams of protein a day if your body's only going to use half of that every day? So might as well just eat half, right? Just consume 150 instead, right? So that's the point I make here, is like, you can eat less grams of protein and still get some results. Is there science and literature that says, more is better? Is like, yeah, there probably is. But I'm not saying that 50 grams of protein max is all you need. I'm saying 50 grams of protein minimum is what you need to get some results. Because think about it, if you take a whole bottle of aspirin, will that fix your headache? Yes. And it will kill you. Whoops, side effect, right? It can kill you. So too much of anything can always be bad. Too much. Too little, the side effect is nothing. That's the irony. The less you have of something, the side effect is nothing. The more you have of something, the side effect would be more extreme, so to speak. That's why a whole bottle of aspirin, could kill you. So that's why it's better for you to take less aspirin for your headache. So the same thing for protein. The problem is, like I'm saying, there's too many people out here putting out certain numbers and just telling people, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. And it's only because they heard somebody else say it, so they're saying it too. Not because they tried it, not because they did some research, not because they counter. That's the thing. Too many people I see nowadays are not trying to question, are not trying to confirm if what is being put out here true or false. Because it's adorable. It's a bit of naive. Like y'all willing to believe that everyone's honest, that there is no humans on this planet that lie. But that's not reality. Reality is, yes, there's gonna be people out there lying, and not everybody who's lying knows they're lying. They think they're telling the truth, but in reality they're not. Right? So that's the unfortunateness. Some people out here spreading information under the belief that it's true, but they haven't did the research. Just like, what's the minimum amount of cardio you can do to burn 1,000 calories, right? What's the laziest exercise you can do? Walking, right? That's been established so far. But there's other things you can do. Swimming. You could burn a lot of calories swimming, and it's more fun. I'd rather be swimming, but I don't have access to a pool, all the time. What I do have access to is my legs and the ground, the floor, so I can walk around. Right? I got a fitness tracker, so I can track my steps, not calories, steps. The steps is what matters, because the steps equals that I did physical work, which means I burn calories. I know I burn calories because I did physical activity. Just like I know I burn calories lifting weights. How much? Doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that my weight is going down every week. That's the number that matters the most when it comes to calories out per activity. The problem is, a lot of people will be like, I'm on a calorie deficit. Yeah, I'm gaining weight. That means you're not doing the calories out part. You're doing the calories in part. Oh, I'm tracking my macros. I'm tracking my calories. Yeah, but you're not tracking your activities, which is what causes you to lose weight. You don't lose weight from eating less food. You lose weight from burning more calories than you consume. So let's say you consume 0 calories today, and you go for a 10-minute walk, which is 1,000 steps. That's 100 calories you just burned, roughly. All right, you're 100 calories lighter. You took 100 calories out and didn't replace it with another 100 calories, right? Because you didn't consume no calories, right? That's how that works. Same goes for when you're out, here, you know, doing hours of cardio. You're burning a lot of calories, which, fortunate for you, allows you to eat more calories if you want to eat more calories. But there's a lot of low calorie options. You can still eat low calories, close to zero, and still be fine. The reason why is because you already have calories in your body to use for your physical activity, so it doesn't matter if you eat calories. What matters is you get rid of the calories you have. Unless there's some literature out there, right, that says that your body uses the calories in your body for certain specific functions, but not for all functions. And the reason you have to still eat calories while you're in your calorie deficit, while you're in your fitness journey, instead of just 0 calories the whole entire diet, is because the new calories that come in, you need that for other functions. It's like the old calories in your body, aka fat, that doesn't get used for those other functions. It only gets used for your cardio, for your exercising. So the fat can only be used for cardio. It can't be used for any other biological functions like protein synthesis or anything like that, or for your heart or for your brain, because your brain burns calories. Your brain needs calories from food, not from fat. And it's like, oh, that's okay, fair enough. There it is. There's the connection. The new calories that come in is for those important functions. But when we do cardio, we're not burning what we eat, we're burning what we already have. So the fat that we already have, that's for just physical activity. That's why our body stores it, just for physical activity. If that's the literature, which I haven't seen anybody showing any literature of that the fat that we have is just for cardio, right? Just for physical activities. It's not used for photosynthesis, for your heartbeat, for your brain, for repairing muscles and so forth and so forth, right? I said repair muscles, but it's not used for other things other than just the cardio, right? So it's like, oh, okay, that's good to know. So now we understand that new calories and old calories, the body uses them differently. And once we have that, then we have a better understanding of calories in, calories out, right? But for right now, we're going to assume that the calories that's in us can be used for anything, including for protein synthesis, among other biological functions, thinking, breathing, heart beating, right? We're going to use it for those functions. All right, so we don't have to feed ourselves more calories because we already have the calories for all those functions. So let's just use the calories we already have, right? If that's how our bodies work. So far, I'm pretty sure it leans towards that category where the calories we have in our bodies are used regardless. It's used for everything. So no need to put new calories because the old calories in your body already is more than good enough for what you need it for. So then it goes back to calories out being way more important than calories in. Just wanted to point that out.